It's always interesting, not only in politics but in real life, to listen to what is not said. And David Davis has just been reported answering a very interesting question. We don't get the question, what we get is the answer. And the answer is that I don't think he's hated at all. He's talking about Rishi Sunak. In other words, Rishi Sunak is hated. And he then goes on to say, because it's the but which is important, I don't think he's hated at all. But we need a change in policy, says David Davis. He says, if Rishi is going to stick with this policy, which has landed us with a recession and higher than average inflation for our economic peers, then I want to change that. Well, of course, so much of the blame which he's now throwing at Rishi Sunak isn't really blame that Rishi Sunak can be responsible for. We're in a global recession. But David Davis is laying in the knife. Of course, he's also supporting Penny Mordaunt. Penny Mordaunt, I think, is a creditable candidate. And it would be very interesting if the Conservative Party ended up electing a third woman as Prime Minister. Very progressive. However, when we start examining this, is Rishi Sunak really responsible for all the damage? No. A lot of that damage was imposed on Rishi Sunak, and Rishi Sunak had to act in the way he did. I think if we want to blame Rishi Sunak for anything, you want to blame him for removing the £20 from benefit. You want to blame him for not fully supporting all the people who had COVID or who were affected by COVID. You want to blame him for not chasing up the fraud after COVID. Those are the areas where Rishi Sunak could be blamed. But I think pursuing policies which... The problem is that the policies which Sunak has pursued are, as Rees-Mogg would say, socialist policies. They're policies which were certainly liberal and designed to help people. And people like David Davis are saying, well, Sunak was not pursuing conservative policies. That is where the problem lies. Maybe we would be in a better position if we pursued traditional conservative policies. I don't think we would be. And I think it's wrong to blame Sunak for that. On the other hand, it is fascinating to be able to read these things being unsaid as people emerge from Parliament with great grins on their face and clearly carrying the weight of the world, or at least the weight of the party, because they're quite small-minded, on their shoulders. So that I think tells us where this where these hustings have gone. There may be more hustings. I don't think they will matter much. The die has been cast, as Caesar would say, and I think the end is now inevitable. I think Rishi Sunak will get washed off the stage, and I think it's almost certain to be a battle between Tom Tugendhat and Penny Mordaunt, which I think would be an interesting and positive battle. And incidentally, Penny Mordaunt, while she was involved in the government with Boris, was not recently involved in the government with Boris. She was demoted significantly. So she was not, in fact, in the cabinet when Boris resigned. And it's not that she walked out one day before. She wasn't in it. So she and Tom Tugendhat would have that benefit of saying, we were not tarred with that Boris brush. That's positive, I think. Let's see where we go from here.